Hey guys, thanks for coming back for another week of encouragement. My name's Craig, and today I want to talk to you about our plans and God's plans. Right? We as humans plan all the time. We plan for our days, we plan for our trips, we plan for games, for our tests. Everything that we do as humans kind of revolves around planning. And one thing that's very true about human planning is it's not perfect. Right? Our plans fail sometimes and they need to be readjusted, or we have to take a complete step back and see what new plan we need to come up with. But what plan doesn't fail is God's plan. God's plan is perfect for you, for me, and for everybody because He is an all-knowing God. And so His plan for us is exactly what we need. But it's hard for us to grasp that a lot because we like to be in control and change things and adjust things. And the disciples were the same way. And there's a chapter in the book of John where the disciples learn that they need to adjust their plans. And when they do adjust them, they need to let God adjust them and instruct them how to adjust them. So let's look at John chapter 21. We're going to start in verse 5, and to give you a little bit of a preview, the disciples, towards the end of the day, have decided that they're going to go out fishing for the night. Right? This is their actual job, is fishermen. They go out and they fish and they bring their catch back to sell in the market. So they're trying to earn money and earn their living. Right? And so they go out, and all night long they don't catch a single fish. And so they're on their way back in, and they're about 100 yards from the shore in the early morning. And they hear a man ask them a question from the shore. And that's where we're going to pick up in verse 5. And it says, "He called out to them, 'Friends, don't you have any fish?' 'No,' they answered. He said, 'Throw your net on the right side of the boat. There you will find some fish.' And when they did, they could not pull the net back into the boat because there were too many fish in it. Then the disciple Jesus loved," that's John, "said to Simon Peter, 'It is the Lord.'" Right, so what are we getting out of this short little passage, right? The disciples had gone fishing and they had failed. They had failed at their plan to catch some fish to be able to sell in the market. But on their way back in, they heard somebody off in the distance on the shore tell them to throw their nets to the other side of the boat. And when they did this, they succeeded. They caught more fish than they could possibly hold, and they had to drag the nets behind the boat into shore just to be able to keep all of the fish. And it turns out that that person who told them to cast their nets on the other side was Jesus. It was the Lord. And so what I want us to get out of this is when we're planning something, right, when we have our plans in place, be ready for them to go wrong. And when they do, rather than responding in bitterness or in anger or in selfishness, take a step back. Because I'm willing to bet that God is instructing you or trying to guide you towards what the right plan is, towards His perfect plan. That's what the disciples learned. The disciples learned that when they follow God's plan, when they listen to God, things are perfect. Things are good. So if you want to take an example from my life, right? This past week was our food drive. March 20th and 21st, we had our food drive here at the church, and it was amazing. But initially, I was planning for this whole weekend to just be a relaxing one. I was going to go and I was going to watch the March Madness NCAA basketball tournament. I was excited. I love this tournament. I love all the upsets and the exciting games. But instead, I wound up that I had to be here at the food drive all day Saturday and all day Sunday. So I responded bitterly. I responded in a selfish way, and I was angry. But then I got to experience God's perfect plan through the food drive. Right? During our food drive, we received more donations in food and money than we have in a long, long time. God was good. God gave us more than we could possibly imagine. And what I'm trying to get you to learn out of this is that don't respond bitterly. Don't respond selfishly like I did. Instead, take that step back and say, God, what are you doing? God, where are you moving me to your perfect plan. When we are in line with God's perfect plan, there is good for us in our lives. Thanks for joining me this week. I hope this was encouraging to you guys. Make sure if you haven't that you subscribe, and we'll see you next week.